Hey there, guys. How are you? Yoga Pants CEOs. Claire here, day 4 of our Follow Up Like a Pro and closing with compassion. So let's dive deeper. Today, we are going to talk a little bit more about sort of the ending part of the closing or towards the ending part. So I do want to sort of go over some of my closing philosophies, because we've already talked about how important it is way before you get to the close to lead with your why, that purpose-driven prospecting, right? For them to really hear why it is you're doing what you're doing, not just jumping into the what and the how your products or business are great or different, the features, the benefits, right? Talking about why you're doing what you're doing. We talked about multiple exposures and thinking through what those exposures would be for you. We talked about creating some type of tracking mechanism for you so you know where this person is within the different exposure process. So today, let's talk a bit more then about some philosophies around closing. When I think of closing, I think our job is to simply help our prospects come to the best decision for them. Did you notice I didn't say to get every single prospect to buy or sign up for your business? I feel like so much of this business is about our heart. Like literally, I know you guys know I'm in health and wellness. Now let's say if someone is dealing with fibromyalgia, I just want them to get well. Right? And if they believe these products aren't the products for them, but they find another product or another solution that rids them of those fibromyalgia symptoms, I am so thankful for them. I'm so happy for them. I'm so grateful for them. That's what I just want them to get well, right? Or people who are struggling financially, who just, they've got so much lack there. I believe that my business is the vehicle to get them to financial peace. But I just want them to have financial peace. I just don't want them to struggle, staying up late at night, stressed about money. I just want them to find a solution. Whether what I have to offer them is the solution for them or not, I just want them to find a solution. So sort of check your heart, right? We have to realize we are not in the convincing or strong handling game. I'm not in the convincing game, right? I'm going to share a solution to help their health problems or their money or business or career issues. And if they want to run with it, great. If they don't want to run with it, that's okay too. I'm not going to convince people. It's not about closing everyone, right? We have to realize that not everyone is a prospect. Maybe they don't have a need that they're motivated to solve. Maybe it's timing. So much of this business is timing. It's just not the right timing for them. It's about closing, again, it's about moving them from exposure to exposure to exposure until they feel confident making a decision. And closing should be much more focused on them versus us, versus our own goal and having to sign up a certain number of people each month. If we can just have a real paradigm shift, everything changes with closing. So I showed you this example tracking sheet, but I wanted to give you an idea of what you can do when they might go crickets or they actually say no in parts of your prospecting exposure process. So let's just say I flat out reach out to somebody and see if they're open to learning more. And they say, we already talked about what to do when they say yes, right? How we move them to the next exposure. For me, it would be including them in the natural healing community. But let's say they say no, then what do? Or what if you reached out to them, asked if they were open, they saw the message, but they didn't respond? So let's talk about that, no or crickets. And this could be at any part of the process, right? So maybe I see if they're open and I can either get a no or crickets then. Or they say they're open to me sharing a bit, right? And I share my why and say, hey, and if any of this resonates with you, I've got a great 3-minute video that describes the products more. Are you open to taking a peek? They might go crickets there or say no there. Or maybe they say, sure, I'll take a look at the video, and I add them to the natural healing community. And I follow up to see if they watch the video. They can go crickets there, or they can say no there. They're really not interested. So you got to realize this can happen at any part during the exposure process. But generally, if someone says they're not open, I don't see a ton of objections to even overcome. They're just not even open. They're telling me the timing is not right? Now, I believe we need to treat these people with respect. We want them to feel good about even this part of the process, them saying no. And I will generally say, no worries at all, Helen, but I'm going to ask for a referral in a way. I would say, but would you mind just keeping me in the back of your mind when you come across people that XYZ? So think about that for you. Like I would say, no worries at all, Helen. No problem. Would you just mind keeping me in the back of your mind? When you come across people that are dealing with anxiety or migraines or diabetes, there's way too many people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it breaks my heart. So if you can just keep me in the back of your mind, that would be wonderful. Now, what did I do? Again, I didn't make her feel weird. I did plant a seed, right? Maybe she thought the products were about something. She's like, wait a minute, I didn't know it helped with migraines or whatever that might be. So think about how you can, and I'm not saying, oh, can you send me referrals? I'm just saying, just keep me in the back of your mind. Okay, so I do believe you should have a message like this that feels good. You're asking them to keep you in the back of your mind, and you're still sort of planting a seed. Okay, so there you go. That's no, they're not open. But what about crickets? So they saw the message. Well, if it was when I just reached out the first time to see if they were open, I'll just follow back around. Generally a week later. I say 3 to 7 days later. Not that there's some weeks that are crazy and literally I'm following back and it was like, weeks ago. But I do believe this should be about 3 to 7 days later where you just follow back around. You say, hey, Sarah, I just want to follow back around. Are you open to taking a peek? That's all I'm going to say. We're basically saying, are you open? Or maybe they had progressed a bit more through the exposure process and they actually did watch your third-party tool, or you sent them your third-party tool like a video, but it was crickets. And then same type of thing. Hey, Helen, just want to check back in. Were you able to take a peek at the video? Were you able to peek at the video? Just something like that. Nothing detailed. You just want them to easily be able to say yes, no. Now, if it's crickets again, so if it's crickets when I ask them and then it's crickets again, normally that's when I stop asking them. And I'm just going to just keep relationship building. That's it. Not to say you can't come back to those people. Now, hopefully those people, you're doing a great job just connecting with them socially, right? You're sending happy birthday messages. You are engaging on their posts. You're just sending just conversational messages. Also, you are keeping in touch by your personal profile posts. So if you're posting and about your life, you're doing Facebook Lives, you're adding value, you're staying top of mind whether you think it or not. So that really is a lot of follow-up is actually done that way as well, even though we don't always think of it that way. But you can totally wrap back around. So if it was crickets a couple of times, it might be 3 to 6 months down the road then I might follow back around with them. Hey, Sarah, I know that a number of months ago we were talking about the XYZ products, but the timing wasn't great for you. Even if they didn't say the timing wasn't great, but they just didn't respond, crickets tells me the timing's not right. Or they just weren't interested and didn't say it. But generally it's because the timing wasn't right. They were just overwhelmed. They just couldn't even think about it. So you might just say that, hey, a number of months ago we were talking about the XYZ products, but the timing wasn't great for you. Is now a better time to revisit things? Okay, so that could be 3, 6, 9 months down the road. I would say definitely 3 to 6. You could just check again, and that's it. Again, you had been doing relationship building. Now, also, sometimes there's just little questions we can ask to find out, what they're thinking, and to move them to the next part of the prospecting process. A lot of times you might, share the information with them. They watched the video, they thought it was great, blah, 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 but they didn't say anything like, how do I order or how much is it or whatever. So there's questions you can ask just to keep moving it along. So let's just say I sent someone, they watched the video, they're like, oh my gosh, this sounds great, exactly what I need, blah, 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 and they don't say anything else. Well, then some people get stuck. A lot of times I'll just want to move them to the next part. So I would even say something like, would you like me to send you the pricing just so you have an idea? Even if they didn't ask how much it is. Generally they'll say yes, and you just keep moving the process forward. Or what I'll say is after we've talked about the products, they've got the pricing, all of that, they're still not saying, hey, I want to buy it. I'll say something like, are you open to giving them a try? See how much better they help you feel. So you've got to have a way to basically say, all right, are you ready to buy now? In a way that, isn't so pushy. And that's how I say it. So find your it's just a sentence. Are you open to giving them a try to whatever it's going to make sense for your business? But are you open to giving them a try to see how much better they help you feel? Or if we were talking about the business side and we talked a little bit about the business, I answered their questions, but they're still not saying yes or no. I could say something as simple as, do you see an opportunity for yourself? You know, so it's these types of questions. You're just trying to find out, what are they thinking? Which way are they leaning? So very, very simple. Now, this probably happens a lot, right? Where they were totally interested, but you're like, where did they go? Right? They were going to like sign up on Tuesday, and then Tuesday came and went, and then you checked in on Thursday, they didn't reply back, and the following week, but they were already, you know, it seemed like they had their credit card in hand. Well, I say something like this. Hey, Susie, I know we talked back and forth about let's just say the business. And I see this as a perfect fit for you. You seem pretty interested, but just curious, what might be holding you back? Ask them what might be holding them. They're going to reply. You're going to be amazed. They're going to reply with something. Well, I just don't know if I have the money, or I'm not sure if I can do this, or blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you, and you just need to know so that you can keep the conversation going and flowing. Or again, maybe the products. Hey, Susie, I know we talked back and forth about the XYZ products. I'm confident they'll work for you, help you feel so much better. So I'm just curious, what might be holding you back? Guys, this works. Or so this is what I send sometimes. Like literally, you know, the people that are so excited to sign up, you can't quite see you know, this is the smiley face. That's like the funny one. Like, this is my personality, because you've heard me say before, I like to call the elephant in the room. If I feel like maybe they're not replying because now they just feel weird, like, and it's now it is sort of weird, I don't want it to be weird. So I just throw it out there. I'll be like, where did you go? With the crazy little smiley face. I know that you're all set to try the products in the business. Did you change your mind? Don't feel weird if you did. I say that, and it works. When I say works, I mean, I just want to keep having the conversation. Like, help them come to a decision. Yes or no, whatever is in their best interest. But when it's out in la la land, it's not serving anybody. So that's what I mean, where I just mean that they're going to talk to you. They're going to tell you, well, I thought I was going to get paid such and such, or my paycheck was less than I thought, so I really can't sign up for another 2 weeks, or whatever they're going to tell you. So today, I just want you to give this some thought. Think of someone who has showed interest, is maybe on the fence, but they've gone quiet or crickets. Share in the comment section, what message might you send them to sort of see where they're at, to see if they have a decision one way or the other. I've given you some examples, and maybe these resonate with you, and then take them, you know, put it in the comment section, or tweak it for your specific situation and your specific personality. But that's what I want you to share today. A message, an example message you might send someone who they already showed interest, but they haven't said yes yet, and they've sort of gone quiet or crickets. Okay? All right, let me know what questions you guys have. Again, I'm excited to share tomorrow. We got a lot of great stuff to share tomorrow, and I just am so thankful that you're part of this community, and you guys have a great day. Bye, y'all.